Welcome to the Financial Wellness Academy, educating and empowering you to master your money so that you can live the life that you desire. My name is Caitriona Ellis, and today we're going to talk about overcoming the sting of financial duping, transforming your financial trauma into triumph. So, sadly, being duped financially is something that is becoming more and more common. And it is staggering the number of people that this affects. And the more I speak about this, the more it emerges and the more people I realize have been affected by this. And this is something that I have personally had experience of on a number of occasions. And I'm becoming quite the expert in it, unfortunately. And so it's something that I want to talk to because there is, firstly, I guess, a huge amount of emotion associated when this happens to somebody. There can be so much shame and embarrassment and feeling so stupid as to how could I have not seen what was in front of me? How did I make such a decision? And maybe if you saw some flags and you ignored them, why did I ignore my intuition when it came to this situation? And we can really beat ourselves up badly as to how we've succumbed to these situations. And if it's any consolation to you, because I know it certainly was to me, I've had lots of conversations recently with very intelligent individuals who have all succumbed to various forms of this and who felt lots of the same emotions that I've shared. And they were, some of them, specialists in this space. And they have so much knowledge in this space, qualified people, qualified accountants, company directors, really well experienced people in the areas of finance and many other sectors, and they still fell prey to being duped. And unfortunately, there are many people out there who are really good at this and they draw us in. They can be very charismatic, come across as really trustworthy, and do lots of things to earn our trust. And then we are easy prey for them because we do trust them because of other things that they've done. And they are very clever and smart in how they reel their victims in. And I think the first piece is really to acknowledge that it's happening all around us, sadly, and that you will not be the only person in your circle of family and friends who this has happened to. You may think that you are, but many people will not discuss when this has happened to them because they are so embarrassed themselves. And I think one of the ways that we can best help ourselves and others in the same way is by actually talking about this more, saying, you know what, this happened to me and I felt, share your feelings, how you felt embarrassed, humiliated, sad, angry, so stupid, and openly discuss how it's impacted you. And you will be amazed as to when you do that, people that you had no idea had experienced this will come forward and share that with you also. And by you sharing it, there is a therapeutic element to that for you also, because it's almost like it gets it off your chest. You talk it out and get it out of yourself. And that lightens the load. And especially when you lighten the load and you hear others sharing back that, yeah, this has happened to me too. And people who you thought, no, that could never happen to. So there's great healing in doing that. And I know it might sound quite a simplistic thing to do, but having experienced this myself, I know firsthand that it absolutely makes a huge difference. So do talk about it if it's happened to you, on social media, in person with people, whatever works for you, but do start to talk about it, because I think we really need to start having more conversations about this. And the more we talk about it, the more we will normalize it, and we will take the sting out of the tail of it, and we will be able to help ourselves and others work through this. Because sadly, situations like this are absolutely responsible for the suicide of many people. because for those people, it gets to the point where it's so overwhelming that they don't feel that they can survive this, and they decide to end their lives. And that is a tragedy on top of a tragedy. We can recover from the money stuff, but we can't recover those lives lost. So let's start having those conversations more and watch the magic that unfurls as you do have those conversations. Another piece to consider in this is, if you've had this experience, is to explore if you can legally challenge this, if you can legally report this, if there are professional bodies involved in the space. And many people will not pursue this line because it will prolong their experience of this. They just want to forget about it and move on. But the danger with that is that whoever has done this may continue to do it again and again because they're not stopped. So I would encourage you to explore if there are avenues available to you that you can potentially report this, and this individuals can be investigated and something done about it. The other piece around it is when you share on this, you start to realize others, and maybe others were affected by the exact same position, and you can join forces then, and together you have shoulders that you can lean on to work through this, and you can get justice for whatever the situation is. There's so much power in you doing this that I can't emphasize strongly enough. And this again is coming from my own personal experience of the duping I experienced recently, and the power of the group that got together to support each other and to make sure that actions were taken to ensure that this never happened again. One of the dangers when you experience financial loss in this way is to hold on to hope that a remedy will emerge, that you may get some of the money back. And it is a possibility, and fingers crossed for you that you do. But if you hold on too tightly to that hope, sometimes that can be responsible for really taking you under when reality hits that, you know what, that's not going to happen. And when I experienced my loss earlier this year, it was in the tens of thousands of pounds. So it was not insignificant. And it was the largest loss that I've ever experienced in my life. So it was catastrophic, felt like, and I could feel the weight of the financial loss literally like a noose around my neck, and I could feel it starting to take me under. And when I decided to cut loose with that money and go, you know what, the money is gone, I don't want to add my own life as a casualty to this. I want to just cut loose and work through. I can make that money again and focus on what I was building, dealing with what had happened and moving on. And the power in that was immense. So I can't encourage you enough to cut loose with that amount, to make peace with it and move on, and to see what you can do going forwards and focus on what you're building, because the danger is that that can take you under. And I know you want to get that money back, and you really, that will make a difference, but there is a huge downside to holding on too tightly to it. Do what you can realistically to get it back, but become detached from whatever that outcome is, and then let it play out however it's going to play out. So I hope that was helpful to you. It's something, like I said, many people experience. There is no shame or embarrassment in experiencing that because it's all too common, sadly. So make peace with the emotions that you have around this. Know that you're not the only one. Reach out for support and do what you can to make sure that that doesn't reoccur in the circumstances that you've experienced, and to get justice for what you've experienced. As always, please do share your comments and thoughts below, and I look forward to seeing you in another vlog soon to your financial wellness.